today will be your last class. I will talk about some revision for your final exam. Okay. So for the final exam, it will be on 15 July 2021 at morning 9 a.m. Okay, and the exam will be online. Okay, and the question will be 4 questions. You have to answer all. Okay, this one not confirmed yet, but I think it will be happen. Okay, the question be given separately. Okay, so first question, you have to answer from 9 a.m. to 9:40, and then you will be given 10 minutes to submit the answer. And then the second question will be answered at 9:50. Okay, I will show you the answer at the e-learning, and then at 10:30, okay, you have to submit it again. Okay, so on. Okay, 40 minutes to answer, 10 minutes to submit. Okay, and then you have to answer the next question. Okay, the test will be around 9 until 12:20. Okay, this one is not confirmed yet. Please make sure you're ready for this type of question, this method of answering the final exam. Okay, so the detail of the question, okay, like I said before, it is 4 questions. Okay, all questions are 25 mark. Okay, each question has 25 has small question and large question. Okay, small question basically just a small question, a very simple question. Usually around in A is around 2 or 3 question, and the mark is around 10 to 15. But the part B part will be the large question. Okay, so basically what is the difference is large question is basically just given one problem. Okay, you have to solve that problem using multiple theory of coding. Okay, maybe question 1B1, draw the flowchart, 1B2, from that problem, same problem, you have to plot the figure or do the code, something like that. So that is mean by large question. Small question will be not related to each other. Okay. Okay. What you have to focus for chapter 1 is you need to know how to create a flowchart. Okay. Okay, how to create a flowchart from problem. Okay, so basically they will give you some problem. Okay, the step. Okay, from that step you have to create a flowchart. Okay, for example is if you look at the note, write an algorithm to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So basically from this you have to practice how to do flowchart. Okay. Okay, and okay, sorry. Okay. When you want to practice this, I already placed some final exam question in e-learning, so you can practice this. So this type of question needs practice. Okay, and make sure when you do the flowchart, make sure that the end, okay, the process or something must have in and out. Okay, except the start and end. Okay, so make sure all program needs to have input and needs to have output. You cannot just leave it hanging. Okay, so that is the first focus you have to do. You have to create a flowchart from problem. Okay, another thing that you need to focus on, okay, is the flowchart to pseudocode. Okay, the question will give you some sort of flowchart, and this flowchart, from this flowchart you have to create a pseudocode. Okay, recall back chapter 1. Okay, how to do a pseudocode. You know, I think the internet is not too strong right now. Okay, so first you have to write the procedure. Okay, procedure is basically the title of the coding. Okay, for this case is how to draw money from ATM. So procedure just draw money. Okay. So, and then you have to list down all the input. Okay, for this case, you have to look what is the input. So for this case, you have to look at the password, the type, either deposit or withdraw, and the amount. So that is all the input. So how about the output? So you look at the output, you look here, there will be just a message. Okay, so balance, everything is a message. Okay, I think balance also you have to put here. Okay, so the first one is to check the password. So if the password is correct, okay, and then you go here. So type and amount. So the first one is the type. If the type is deposit, so you will go here. So you have to calculate balance equals to balance plus amount. Okay, and output the balance. Okay, so you will show the message of the balance. Okay, here and here. And then else means that withdraw. Okay, for withdraw, there are two options. Is balance less than, if amount less than balance, so this is go to yes, and then balance equals to balance minus amount. So output balance. So show message again. Okay, else, okay, just balance not enough. So just show message. Okay, and don't forget the end. Okay, this one is end for this. Okay. And then else output. Wait, it's lagging. Okay, else output error. Okay, means that the password is wrong. Okay. So, and also don't forget to end this. Okay. So you have to learn how to change flowchart to pseudocode. Okay, this one is also important. Wait, I think the PC is lagging. Okay, so the next part is chapter 2. So for chapter 2, you have to create an array. Okay, you have to know how to create an array, how to create a horizontal array, a horizontal vector, something like this. Okay, this one is, or you can use comma or space, or you want to create a vertical vector. Okay, you have to do something like this. Or to create an array 1, 2, 3, and then you put semicolon, it will go to the next part. So make sure you know how to create an array from the code. Okay, next. Next one is also important. How to this one? Okay, this is one of the example. Okay, example how to create a array. Okay, so if you want to create a horizontal one, you just put space or comma. But if you want to go to the next line, you have to put semicolon. Okay, so this is called array. Okay, and then you have to learn how to convert the array into a vector. Okay, how to convert array to vector? You just use this code. Wait, okay, this code. Okay, so basically you just put dot, double dot. Okay, you will convert this into the vector. Okay, vector is basically a long chain of line. Okay, one more thing. If you do something like this, it will go down like here. Okay, it will go from top to the bottom first, and then go to the next column, go to the top from bottom. So make sure you know when you do this, what is the converted number. Okay, the number should will be a horizontal. Horizontal. Okay. So make sure you know how to convert array to vector, which is from chapter 2. Okay, sorry, it's quite lagging. Okay, anybody can understand? Is it okay for the lagging problem?
Yes, that's the problem.
Okay. Okay, the next part is summing the number. Okay, summing the array. Okay, this one is I don't remember. I think it's chapter 2. Okay, so you have to know how to sum. Okay, make sure you know how to use sum. Okay, this is I give you example. This is a 3 by 3 matrix. So when you want to sum this number, you just use sum. Okay, when you use sum, okay, it will sum horizontal, vertically. Okay, it will sum something like this. Okay, so the answer should be okay. 1, 4, 6 is 11. 3, 2, 1 is 6. 2, 5, 4 is 11. Okay, if you use just sum, okay, sum A, basically this one. Okay, it's basically just summing vertically. But if you want to sum with column, means that horizontally, if you want to sum something like this, okay, so you have to use this code. Okay, you have to put comma and 2. Okay, if you use just sum, it will sum it horizontally, vertically. But if you use sum comma 2, it will sum it horizontally. Okay, something like this. Okay, so if you see here, 1, 3, 2 is 6. Okay, 4 to 5 is 11, and so on. So be careful when you want to use sum. Okay, the next part is create and analyze nested and local function. Okay, I think this one you already tried to answer in test. Okay, recall back. So make sure you understand how to create and analyze nested and local function. So if, for example, this one is a nested function because it is inside a function. So you can see here, this is a function. Okay, look at the end. Okay, function and end. Okay, and inside the function is another function. Okay, this one is another function. That is called a nested function. Okay, but if you use local function, okay, the function, okay, this function is after this. Okay, function and then end. So it is outside a function. So make sure you know how to create this, and you have to know what is the workspace. Okay, so in the nested function, this one is nested function. The workspace, okay, the workspace means that the data you save, you can use directly. So you can see here, okay, you don't have to insert some input because you are in the same workspace. So the data is shared. But if you use a local function here, local function, which is outside the, okay, outside the main function, okay, the workspace is not shared. So when the workspace is not shared, you have to have the input. Okay, make sure if you have local function, you have to have input. Okay, so that is very important because you have to create. Okay, you have to create a nested and local function after in the final exam. And then you have to analyze. Some question will give you some nested function or local function. Okay, and you have to analyze to get the output. What is the output? So make sure you know. Okay, make sure you know how to do this. It's almost the same like test, almost the same as test. Okay, that is from chapter 5. This is for chapter 5. Okay. Oh, I skip it. So this is from chapter 4. The control flow. So you also have to create a code from problem. Okay. So they will give a problem. Okay, they will give problem, and okay, the problem is something like this. Okay, it will give some problem. Okay, from that problem you have to solve the problem using code. Okay, you have to know how to use if, else if. Okay, don't use if else. Many of you use if else. So else if, and it is okay together. And for this one, okay, if you use if else, make sure that you use double N. Okay, and this is the symbol for not. Okay, make sure you know. If equals, you have to use double equal. If not equal, you have to use this. Okay, make sure you know how to use if, else if, else. Okay. So next part. Okay. So we take a break and slide in your attendance. Okay, we continue. Okay, for chapter 6, okay, which is input output. Okay, you have to focus on how to input data into a vector variable. Okay, in chapter 2, you usually in chapter 6, you usually only input data into a variable. Okay, but for this case, you have to focus on how to input the data in vector. Okay, so you have to combine chapter 6. Wait. Chapter 6 and chapter 2. Okay, so basically how to do it, you have, instead of just insert it a variable here, you have to put a vector, the location, the index of the vector. So that is how you create a vector variable input. So basically you have to start with 1, okay, person number 1, and then height for the person number 1 equal to input. Okay, and then this one, don't forget to put the open bracket, and then this is the input. Okay, and then so here you can see here, this is increasing of number because you start with 1, then you have to start with 2. Okay, person equals to person plus 1, and then height person, you just copy back here. Okay, while height is less than and more than 0. Okay, if the height is more less than 0, means that you finish inserting the number. Okay, so make sure you understand how to do the input data into a vector variable. Okay, try to understand this code. Okay, try to apply it. Okay, and try to look at MATLAB how it works. Okay, the important also, okay, chapter 6, which is the output f print f. Make sure you know how to use f print f. Okay, so f print f, you open bracket here, only 1. Okay, 1 open bracket. Okay, and then this is the variable that you want to show, and this is the variable itself. Okay, you put comma and you put the variable, and you need to know how to manipulate this. Percentage. Okay, what is 1? So 1 is basically a placeholder. Okay, how much placeholder you want to put, and dot. Okay, dot 2 is basically how many decimal point. If you want to put a 2 decimal point, you put dot 2, and then f is the floating. Okay, make sure you know what is this, what is f, what is integer. Okay, what is string. Okay, make sure you know all. Okay, the type of input you want to place here. Okay, but this one, make sure you know dot 2. Okay, f percentage dot 2f. This one basically you have 2 decimal point. Okay, if you want to put a placeholder, for example, you want to place a file location here, leave it blank, you just put here. So for this case, it's only one placeholder. Okay, make sure you know how to use printf. Okay, so this is for chapter 6. Okay, next, okay, is how to import and export Excel. So this question will come out a lot. So make sure you know how to import and export Excel. Okay, so of course, to import you have to use XLS read, and to export you have to use XLX write. Okay, and the first location is you have to put the file name. Okay, and don't forget the extension here, .xls. Okay, and then this one is the location for the data. Okay, the location inside the Excel. Okay, and for the write, you have to include the parameter that you want to insert into the Excel. Okay, so make sure you know how to use import and export from Excel. Okay, also chapter 7, which is okay, plot. So you need to know how to use plot function. Okay, so you can see here you have plot in X and in Y. So you have to plot the X and Y. Okay, and also you have to know how to write the label. So X label, Y label. Okay, so this is the X label, this is the Y label. You need to know how to write it. Okay, and then you need to know how to add title and how to add grid. Okay, make sure you know the code, how to add grid, title, and X label and Y label, and also how to use the plot function. Okay, beside normal plot, okay, linear plot, you have also need to know how to use a semi-log graph. Okay, so semi-log, you have two, semi-log X and semi-log Y. Okay, you can see here. So make sure you choose the correct semi-log. Okay, if you use semi-log X, means that the X axis is the log. If you use a semi-log Y, means that the Y axis is log. So depend on the question. If they ask for the logarithm in the X axis, you have to use a semi-log. Okay. And then you have to know how to change. Okay. To change it into this one. Okay. You have this function. Okay. You have a function here. Okay. Make sure you know how to change the function into absolute value and the angle. Okay, if you want to find the absolute value, the magnitude, you have to use ABS, open bracket hash. Okay, and if you want to find the angle, make sure you know how to use the angle. Okay, the angle code. Okay, and also make sure you notice what they want. Either it is in radian or degree. So you can divide it in here. Okay, degree is actually 2 pi. 2 divided by pi, 2 radian divided by 2 pi multiplied by 180. This one is the standard conversion of degree and radian. So from this, you have to put the value here. Okay, this one is basically in your assignment. So basically, this is a practice for your final exam, the assignment. Okay, make sure you know how to do this. Okay. And also you need to know how to use histogram. Okay. So histogram, if you have some data, how to do it is you put that data here. Okay. Histogram, open bracket, put the data, and you have to show how to divide the data. So basically this one is from 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 6 to 8 until 40. Okay, or you can just use this one. Just use this one. For example, 0, 20, 40. Okay, you can use either this way or this way. Or if you want to be the histogram unstable, 0, 10, 40. Okay, make sure you know how to manipulate this histogram. And of course, you have to know how to label it, X label, okay, and title, Y label and title. Okay, that is for the histogram. Okay, make sure you know how to use it. Okay, and then this one still a new topic. Okay, analyze data analysis. Okay, chapter 10. So you have maximum, minimum, median, mean, mode, standard deviation, and variance. Okay, make sure you know what is all mean. I think standard deviation and variation, no need to worry too much. It's quite difficult to calculate, but you need to know what is the mean, max, mean, median, mode, and mean function works. Okay, so if you, for example, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, for example. Okay, the max will be 50. Okay, max number is 50. Mean, you know how to calculate mean. You have to add 10, 20, 30, 40, 15, and then divide by the number. Okay, how many numbers? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you just use the average value. Okay, median is basically you find the you have to sort the data first. Okay, you have to sort the data and you have to take the center value. Okay, if the center value, if this is a odd number, it's okay, but even number, you have to divide the two center value to and find the center value. You have to recalculate. So make sure you know how to calculate the median. Okay, of course, mean just 10. Okay, minimum number, and mode is basically the number that most frequent. Okay, so if you don't have frequent number, so you can see here there is no repeated number. So when there is no repeated number, what happened to mode? So basically, it will just choose the first number. Okay, so this one is important. Make sure you know what happened if there is no repetition in the number. Okay, so you need to know how to analyze. Okay. Okay, the next part, chapter 12. Okay, polynomial. Okay, this one. Okay, this one has a very quite large mark, around 15%. Okay, almost half question. Okay, so make sure you know how to solve polynomial using the code. You can look at example 12.2. Okay, so find fx. Okay, find fx equals to x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2. Okay, for example here, you have this and this. Okay, how to write it inside here? Okay, how to write it? Okay, how to change this? Make sure you have to sort this first. Okay, x power of 3, x power of 2, x power of 0. Okay, so make sure you include this. Be careful. If x power of 1 has no value, you have to put 0. Okay, you have to check back. This one, convert. Okay, conv. This is how to multiply this number together. And then you get the answer. And then you need to know how to divide. Okay, so decon b. So how to change this number, okay, back into this equation. Okay, you need to know how to change the result into this one. Okay, make sure you know how to write this. Okay, usually only how to write the code. No need. This one I think don't need. So another chapter 12 is also quite a large mark, around 15%. Okay. So you have a function here. Okay, you have a function polynomial. Okay, and make sure you know this, s equals to j2 pi f. Okay, so this one you have to know how to write it. Write the transfer function. Okay, numerator, denominator, and the frequency, and you have to change the frequency into the s domain. Okay, and then you have to polyval. Okay, basically polynomial value. Okay, evaluate the polynomial. This one is the component here. Okay, the component, and s is the value. So, and then don't forget to divide it. Okay, divide is just a normal division. And then you have to know how to plot using a semi-log graph. Okay. So, of course, don't forget the absolute and angle function. Okay. So this is quite large mark. So make sure you know how to do this. Okay, next part is integration in chapter 13. Okay. So make sure you know how to do integration. Okay. How to write this differential equation. Okay. Okay. Not differential equation, the function here, and then how to call the integral. So basically, integral open bracket. Okay. Open bracket, close bracket. Okay, this is the minimum value. This is the maximum value. Okay, and this is how you write the function. Okay, the polynomial. Okay, so make sure you know the difference. You have to put a at and then x and then the function itself, 2 power of x power dot power of 2. Okay, so make sure you know how to integrate. Okay, integrate a function or a polynomial. Okay, that is for chapter 13. And also from chapter 13, you need to know how to second order derivative and how to plot it. Okay. So you know the second order derivative. Okay, you have to watch again the video. Okay. So plot the solve and plot. Okay, you have to look at the example 13.9. Okay. You have to solve and plot this function for the time span from 0 to 15. You have to write the code for that. Okay, and then you how to find this. Okay, you have to give the hash, okay, the time, and then you have to write this function, okay, and then you have to use the different derivative function. And because this is second order, you have to put 2, and you have to divide hash power of 2. And don't forget this, when it comes to derivative, you have to divide by hash power of the order. Okay, if power of 1, hash power of 1. Second order, hash power of 2. Okay, so make sure you know this, and then you know how to plot. Okay, when it comes to plot, so you can see you cannot just plot everything. Okay, for second order, second order, the result always shorter by 2. Okay, so this is your result, so you have to delete 2 number, okay, at the beginning. Okay, that's why you have to do this. Okay, make sure you know this. When it comes to second order, you have to delete 2 number earlier. Okay, for the time. Okay, for example, time is 0, 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. So the 2 number is 0 and 0.01. You have to delete it. Okay, so this one is also important. Make sure you know how to do this. Okay, and also how to call. Okay, you can see here how to call the number specifically. Okay, so y dot 5 divided by hash. Okay, if you want number 5, you have to 5 divided by hash, and then you have to plus 1. Okay, that is how you find the value specifically. Okay, and this one is the last one, chapter 14. Okay, I think if not mistaken, 1/3 of you don't watch this video, chapter 14. So make sure you watch it again. Okay, you watch it because it is almost 15%, which is half of the one question. So it's quite large. Okay, so make sure you know how to create. Okay, you have to create the code for class. Okay, and analyze the class. Okay, so of course, class def, you have to give the name to the class def, and then you have to give the properties to the class. Okay, okay, you have to you have to insert the constant properties. Okay, for example here, how to insert constant properties, okay, or read only properties. Okay, but the important one is this. Okay, how to insert the constant properties. Okay, and then how to write a constructor. Okay, and the method. Okay, so I'm trying to understand how to create a class. Okay, because the mark is quite large, almost 15%. So basically, this is inside the video for chapter 14. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is just a reminder. Only 70% of you watch the last class. Okay, chapter 13 and 14, not many have watched it, but the mark for both chapter is quite large. Okay, so be careful. Try to do some revision on that topic. Okay, that's it. Good luck for your final exam. Okay, before we end the class, do you have any question?
Doctor, do this class is recorded?
Yes, yes, I record it.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, welcome. Any more question?
No, Doctor.
Okay. So good luck with your final exam. Okay, make sure you know the procedure of the new final exam. Okay, which is given question one by one. So basically, you have to finish up the question within that time. Okay, you cannot just hold the question and then skip to another question. Okay, and also this is the last class. So this Wednesday there will be no other class. Okay, and for the next next week also there will be no class. Okay, and the next week is the study week. Okay. If there is no more question, I will end the class. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you,
Okay.
Doctor. Have a nice day.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.